welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Well, I think microphone forward here. We are back with an impromptu live stream. Quite literally, this was not planned whatsoever until the last couple of hours when the news broke. But as you can tell by the title, and I'm going to put it on the screen, and you can tell by the strap behind me, some good news, some good positive Arsenal news to talk about. He's staying put. 2 hours ago exactly, David Ornstein tweeted this. Exclusive from the Athletic as well. Arsenal have reached an agreement with William Saliba over a new 4-year contract. 22-year-old had 12 months remaining on the existing deal, but fresh terms will be tying down until 2027 amid strong interest from Premier League plus abroad. Now onto the paperwork stage. Basically, the next few days on the dotted line, it will be announced by the club and player that he's on a new deal, basically. And this all stems from this tweet here, all stems from early this morning, Fabrizio Romano. Now, Fabrizio Romano, put out basically, not a similar tweet, but a tweet suggesting talks were progressing, but not to this point. And then suddenly Tapping Merchant Fabrizio taps it in and goes, oh, but after this tweet and goes, yeah, done and dusted. I'm just going to get it up now. And also there's other tweets I'm going to find as well from Fabrizio as well, since this news has broke in the last couple of hours, which again links with Arsenal and this news about Saliba. Just got to find it all now. Blimey. But yeah, this is brilliant news. Again, we've had in the last few months, Martinelli started the ball rolling in terms of the current squad, signing new contracts, long term. All coincidentally taking these players up to 2027, by the way, so far. Martinelli started the ball rolling. We've had Saka and Ramsdale joining the bandwagon. Now Saliba's jumping on it. I say bandwagon, it's the good kind of bandwagon where, for the first time in a long time, we've got players that want to stay. Not just the homegrown, but players that we brought in and not been with us long, and they're just like, yeah, buying into it. They want to stay even longer. They want to extend their time in the club. And I honestly can't remember the last time we had that in our squad, in a squad, in the Emirates here particularly as well. Whenever we'd offer that contracts are coming up, or we'd offer them a new contract, it would be we got better offers from Barcelona, and they'd go for Barcelona, like Kleb, like Thierry, Cesc. I mean, Nasri went off to Man City. And Kolo Toure. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and ever since then, it's been a snowballing effect where this moment's been a long time coming, basically. In terms of, obviously, as I mentioned, players actually wanting to stay at the club long term and not mess about. This is the tweet I'm now on about now that's come out in the last couple of hours as well. Literally, as the news came out about Saliba. This is what I mean about tapping Merchant FC Fabrizio sometimes. I say sometimes, majority, when it comes to Arsenal, majority of the time he's a tapping Merchant. But David also will tweet it, and then Fabrizio follows up afterwards. But Arsenal new contracts plan continue as Martin Odegaard, next one on the list. One sec, I'll come to the comments in a second. Next one on the list. Negotiations will take place soon with the white and red emoji, #AFC. Then he mentions Martinelli, Saka, Ramsdale, and Saliba, I've already mentioned before, and until June 2027 as key part of the project. Reece Nelson extension also close. That's another thing that's gone under the radar. I mentioned this yesterday in the transfer show that we did yesterday about Reece Nelson and how and why we're doing it and why it's a good thing. As I say, that's what Martinelli, Saka, Ramsdale, Saliba, Reece Nelson, Odegaard. That's six first team players, or part of the first team squad basically, that are committing, and they ain't messing about. It ain't like it's one commits and it's like a year later someone else. bang, 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 bang. We're all committed. We're all committed to the project. We all want to achieve something here together as one. And the last, again, as a football fan, the last time I saw this sort of regular renewing of contracts play from one club in the Premier League, everyone bought into the said project and wanted to achieve things at that club, was when under Klopp, just before they won, just the season before they won the league title. I'm not saying that this is an omen for winning the league title. I'm just saying that I've seen it recently with Liverpool when Klopp first came in. They started getting this sniffing of competing, and players started buying into it. And then literally over the course of a few months, majority of the squad signed new deals, pinning them to a long-term contract at the club, respectively. And next thing you know, they started actually winning the Champions League, the Premier League, and then obviously the League Cup and FA Cup, respectively, over the course of time. They've had a bit of a dip off, and we don't know if that's going to continue next season. But my point is, it's good. It's good news that these players are, and we know there's someone out there in Spain that's going to try and twist some sort of negative aspect to this and go, "Oh, why are they doing it now? When this is why they're doing it, because of ticket renewals and things like memberships and all that." Like, no. For once in your life, relax, enjoy yourself, and enjoy what's going on. That the players actually want to be at our club. They want to stay put. We've got potential world-class players wanting to come to us, and along with the players we've already got, they want to stay put. So come on, enjoy the moment for what it is. Oh, there we go. I think this is working suddenly. Yay! Suddenly, I don't know what I've done. Nothing since you subscribed, Luca. So, well, resubscribe anyway. So yeah. By the way, I just want to say, talking about subscription. By the way, there is a YouTube glitch going about at the moment. It's somehow, for some reason, affecting mine and other people's channels recently. Me for the last 2 weeks, and including today. Just to make you aware, for some unknown reason, this YouTube glitch is YouTube are going around random channels and unsubscribing people from said other channels that they're subscribed to without even saying. So whenever I do go live or do uploads and all that, if you don't get a notification, we know it's due. Double check, just to make sure they're not. And if they do, forcefully unsubscribe you to the channel, let me know ASAP, and I'll let them know, and we'll deal with this, because this is ridiculous now. They've literally forced. I've got the numbers. Over 40 subscribers they are forcing away from my channel in terms of they're unsubscribing them, and even when these people then resubscribe, they're getting, within 5 minutes later, getting it taken back off them. So YouTube need to sort their lives up. I'm letting you, give you all a heads up in case this happens to you, just in case, just to let me know as well. Tom, don't you start, Tom. Jesus Christ. Mark Taylor, new to the channel. Big up, Mark. Spoke to you briefly this morning. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and hopefully I see a lot more of you. Obviously, there is a Champions League watch along we are doing tonight here on the channel. I know it's not Arsenal related, but obviously it's some sort of tradition on the channel that we do cover the Champions League final, Europa League, and conference coming along, FA Cups and all that end of season stuff. Even if Arsenal aren't involved, just because we have got so many neutral fans on the channel as well. And it's just, we all like talking football anyway, even if it is the cheating buses that win it all the time. Despite signing from Valencia for 27 million, Leeds forward Rodrigo has a relegation clause of bloody hell. Oh, he's gone then. Got Lee in the chat as well, over from the Facebook page. Says thanks for the information. No problem. I've got to be more. Literally, that's what my main thing this summer is, adding the transfer and Arsenal updates onto the channel in terms of literal, and anything happens, letting you guys know ASAP. We need Rice, Casado, Ryan, keep Partey. Oh, of course, there should be no reason for us not to keep Partey. Casado, I mentioned this earlier, Luke, not earlier, but last night, Luke, on my last night's transfer show. Casado's Rice will be the first one in my opinion. The way the club is acting, that's going to be the first sign in general, just done and dusted. As soon as that window opens, we're going to move. We are moving fast. Basically, I've been informed as well that we are going to move. As soon as that window opens, we are not messing about with Rice. He is the main one we want to get in first. And Casado, I said, even though Chelsea are putting themselves in the hat, I am confident that because we meet the clause in what Brighton have put in place with Casado in terms of we're a Champions League club, and we're willing to meet the price of whatever they want, and he wants to come to us as well. He made it perfectly clear publicly back in January he wants to come to us. It will take a bit longer, maybe, but by the time we play the MLS All Stars, he will be an Arsenal player as well. I don't think he goes to Chelsea. The only way he goes to Chelsea, Luca, is if he's a mercenary, basically. When I say mercenary, I mean like the money motivates him, and that's all. And that's just, it defeats the object. I said this last night. It defeats the object of him leaving Brighton, who are in the Europa League next season, by the way, leaving them to downgrade, to play no European football, do basically be what he's been doing for the last 2 seasons at Brighton, playing no European football. It makes no sense because there's no guarantee. Yes, they've spent a lot of money. Yes, they've got Pochettino, but look what the owner's doing. Neymar, for example. When Todd Boehly is trying to get Neymar in, he hasn't learned his lesson for the last 12 months. He still wants control of the transfers, incomings and all that, fully. He hasn't learned whatsoever. No matter who he brings in, he's not learning. So, as I say, there's no guarantee Chelsea will get European football next season either way, especially Champions League. Bloody hell, the competition there is going to be vast, even stronger than this year. Because you're going to obviously, you've got Arsenal, you've got City, you've got United, you've got Newcastle, you've got Liverpool. You've got Villa in Europe as well. They could be doing bits next season if they get the transfer business right. It ain't a guarantee anymore. We don't know how well Brighton will cope as well in terms of their European aspects as well. Share this on my community page. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to a barbecue tonight at Eddie's. Will you really think Eddie Uboard going to pay 2 players for 100? Will be way over 100 mil. Yeah, of course. This is the thing. I've said this before, Luca, on this channel. It seems that the debacle of what happened in terms of the European Super League, that whole debacle, the fallout from that, was the rocket up the backside that Kroenkes needed. Not just Kroenkes, but the owners in general. They needed that kick up the backside. And since then, they've gone out every summer and backed him. And yes, there's been a lot of money there, but because we're now in the Champions League, they have to now up the ante. They can't just rely on, sit back and go back to the norm when they are just majority shareholders at the time. They can't rely on that, go back to that, because it backfired. Because it ended up putting us when we have been for the last 6-7 years plus, in terms of not being in Champions League, not being able to compete, etc., etc. I think what I'm going to say now, but so yeah, they know. I think looking at what we're looking at who we're looking to bring in, Rice, Casado, Cancelo's being linked with us as well, heavily linked with us, by the way. We'll get onto that in a bit. The fact that we're tying down the players we've currently got as well to long-term contracts, and the players are happy to. Everything's okay. You don't have to just go, oh, look, but based on previous years. If it had just been a one-off, put it in perspective, if when it all kicked off with the Super League, Kroenkes had only backed Arteta for that summer, and then since then hadn't backed him the way they have done, and basically done what Daniel Levy's done, for the last 10 plus years with these managers. I could understand where you're coming from in terms of are they actually going to pay that sort of money now? We're back in Champions League. Of course they are. It's the proof's there in the pudding. The fact that every summer, every which way transfer window was, have looked to back him. The one window where nothing happened, it backfired on them because they didn't act quick enough and act aggressive enough. And we all know what happened. Obviously, we filled out the Champions League spots, but they learned from that because in the following a year later, when the team's in a title race, they're going out their way. They're not just relying on one target. They've got multiple options here, there, and everywhere. All their first choice options, their backups, this, that, and the other. And one way or the other, they got players in. Didn't get Mudryk. Did they sulk about it like others online? No. They licked their wounds, went again quickly within 24, 48 hours, brought in Trossard, who, let's be honest, but unfortunately played for Trossard as well, absolute bargain. And makes more sense because he's proven, he knows the league, and he's hungry and he wants to win. He wants to compete. And he's a fantastic player by all accounts. He's adapted so quickly to Arteta's methods and all that as well. Casado, we want Casado. We're still going to go in for Casado by the looks of it as well. Didn't get him in the end because of how Brighton were trying to dig their heels in. Did we just go, oh, well, we ain't going to maybe... No, we wouldn't have got 12 million for Jorginho for a short-term stint, and with the long-term aim of going back for Casado and getting Declan in. There's plans in place now. There's an ideology. Basically, there's a plan. There's a simple plan, and everyone as a blueprint, everyone is following it from the owners all the way down to the fucking bottom. And that's what we've needed for years. That's what's been screwing us for 15 plus years since the Kroenkes came along. So actually, no, longer than that. It's 19 years now, the league title. 17 years. 17 years since the Kroenkes came, since Dan came along anyway. Got introduced into the club. That's what's been screwing us, not having a blueprint at everyone from the top, very top, all the way down through the levels of the club to under the pitch is following all aspects of the club. We've got that now. Everyone's following that same hymn sheet, and look what's happening. We've got a youth squad at both levels, under 18, the under 21s and the under 16s, etc., and all the kids and all that as well. Thriving, absolutely thriving. The talent coming through is insane levels of talent coming through that could potentially break into this squad or have careers elsewhere. It's insane. We haven't had this ilk of quality coming through at such a vast rate. To put it into perspective, Tony Adams came through. When Tony Adams came through, you had Tony, you had Rocky. I'm trying to think. Now my brain's gone to mush now. Rocky. You got Kev Campbell came through. Like that was the last time we could say our academy was thriving, because it was like the rate of players coming through, having that potential, was elite at that time. And then it's sort of after that, it sort of died off. Ashley Cole, and then you had Ashley Cole come through, then nothing for a few years. Then Jack Wilshere came through, and again, then nothing for a few years. Whereas now we're getting 5 to 6 players coming through at a vast rate, and it's constant to the point where we've got players like Charlie Patino that we're at a point now where we can't guarantee him minutes, and we could be having to move him on, sadly. It's insane that we're in that position now, when that rate's coming through, we're in that position where we can just go, we'll find you another place, because we can't guarantee you the minutes here, but we want you've got the potential to have a thriving career, basically. And the players, look at the players we're bringing in terms of outsourcing. Fantastic. It's absolutely... People we want Madison. Odegaard, for fuck's sake. And look, Odegaard's got 55% of the vote from the fans to win the player of the season, by the way. From the Arsenal perspective, but voted by the fans. 55%. Saka came second, Martinelli came third. But to have 55% when the squad in general has been fantastic this year, says a lot. And I don't know what else to say, because I'm just lost for words because I'm so excited. I'm genuinely excited for what's coming now at this club. I can't wait for the future of this club. I've said all season, when you've got all these rival fans and the media going, this could be a one-off fluke season. Arsenal will go back to being chasing for top four. This is their best chance of the league title. They're not going to compete. Liverpool going to be coming back next season for second and push everyone to the side again. That's not a guarantee anymore. We proved that. The mentality of this team is going under the radar. It's even by some of our own fan base. It's going under the radar for the wrong reasons. If you think about it, because again, I'm lucky enough to have grown up and witnessed the great teams under Wenger and that stages of George Graham and all that. But in terms of the Wenger era, after winning the league in '98 in his first full season, we went 3 seasons of not winning the league title or trophy in general. And then in 2001, in the third season where we didn't win anything, we got to an FA Cup final against Liverpool. Obviously, we all know as Arsenal what happened. And instead of just letting that pain and agony of the final defeat, the way it went about as well, consume the players and in a negative way, they got their heads down, added a few additions, i.e. Sol Campbell along the way in that summer. Fanny Jeffers, we know what happened there. Van Bronckhorst, Richard Wright, Junichi Inamoto, amongst others. And we went again, and we went and won the league title and the FA Cup to boot. And then obviously should have won it the year, and then we should have defended it. We lost out. Again, do we let that league, losing that league in 2003 affect us? No, not in a negative way. Because we had it's documented as well. The players had a meeting with Wenger, and he said, "I believe you." The reason I said that I believe this team can go unbeaten because I believe you are capable of doing that. And look what they did. They did do that. And when I've witnessed that firsthand as a youngster growing up, and now I'm seeing this squad of players now and seeing how they reacted to the pain of last season when we came 5th in a point off Champions League, and we went off, got a few additions in, and we mounted, and out of nowhere, it is out of nowhere last season, mounted then a title challenge, and came second by 4 or 5 points in the end, off a first. The only team to really push City. I'm excited to see what they can do now, especially if we get the players we're linked with. Along with extending Odegaard and all our other players as well, getting Rice in, Caicedo. If we got Rice and Caicedo in, along with Odegaard ahead of them, that midfield trio, oh my God, that is the ultimate upgrade to what we've already had. And that's no disrespect to Partey, because Partey has been, especially this season, with everything that's going on, fantastic. But obviously, he's age-wise, he's getting on to, he's pushing his 30s now, he's on the wrong part of his career, so we need to upgrade anyway. And the players with look, Caicedo and Rice, they have got longevity in their careers. They are still, 20, I think Casado's 22, 23, Rice is 23, 24. There's longevity there. So we can bring these in now and relax knowing, assuming that does work, we don't have to worry for about 4 or 5 years of bringing in the next upgrades to them, depending on how long their careers go, etc. Right, let's bring this down. Let's go and get into the chat, because there's been a few, whilst I've been rambling on, there's been a few of you going back and forth between each other. Mark is also saying that as long as we add in a buyback cost in terms of back to Charlie Patino and all that, I believe that would be the case. And I'm saying that Balogun and all that, I think that is a modern thing to do now. So I'll be surprised if we didn't do it ourselves. Emerson, big up Emerson. By the way, gave me some information earlier. By the way, in terms of the Saliba, was Emerson's here. In terms of Saliba, not only is he a new contract, but he's getting a new squad number 2. So now, when they officially announce the new contract, the club player, I'm going to have to make a phone call because, I got that 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So that, 2 weeks away, actually. Either way. So that needs to be addressed and sorted out when that does happen. Because I'm not going around wearing a number fucking 12 on my back. Has Saliba signed? Really, he has. Even though Arsenal and Saliba personally haven't come out and made the official announcement, David Ornstein and then Tapping Merchant Fabrizio have confirmed that the deal is done. Basically, it's a matter of days for it to be officially announced. Gunnar Gaffin's a bit worried about Brighton. How are they going to replace the big players? Well, they've been doing well so far. I mean, their scouting system is mental, by the way. That is insane how they've done what they've done so far. I mean, they've got some cracking players anyway, but we'll see what happens in that side of things. If we really want to make the Man City be like Man City and compete, I think it's for Edu Ball. Prove me wrong. Get Rice and Casado. I've had this conversation with you how many times, mate. Oh my days. Just relax. Whatever business we do, trust it. But Rice is our top priority in terms of the club want him to be the first. The marquee sign. They want to get that marquee signing in first before anything else. And you're talking about being ruthless and ambitious. I mean, is the contract renewing at the rate that we're going at as well? Not like 1 or 2. It's the rate we're going at as well. Doesn't that prove the ambition, not just of the club, but the players as well? They're buying into it. They see the longevity of this project, this plan, and they're buying into it as well. So if it was so bad, they'd be breaking their necks to get out of the club, not stay there any longer. We've seen it over the years gone by. I've seen it when I was growing up. Kleb, one title challenge he got into, because he didn't win it, he fucked off to Barcelona and fucked his career, basically. Craig's in the chat says Saliba signing is fantastic news. Just wish it was 10 years and not 4. We have a top centre back. I think every 18 months now we're going to be renewing his contract. Him and others, but every 18 months will be a new contract being put forward. So we're not Chelsea. We're not going to be giving insane contracts out just in case, obviously, injuries or whatever. Tom's saying he's convinced that Brighton players peak within their system. Potentially. We'll obviously wait and see. Obviously, the first season in Europe next season, we'll have to see how that plays out, obviously. How are we all doing on this side of things? Let's have a look. Well, you talk about because it's only meant to be a short term thing because we obviously have, as I said, this was not planned until literally midday this afternoon when David Ornstein broke the news about Saliba. This wasn't a planned stream until then, so I've had to go do a lot of running around, get a thumbnail sorted for myself, some thumbnail sorted out for me via my means, and yeah. Mr. Bungle's in the chat as well. Pick up Mr. Bungle. Tom saying, don't forget on tonight's Champions League stream, I'll be revealing which Argentinian team I support in a Stefan style following 600 teams. And he'll be live with us and hopefully going into reach out to chat to Dixie, who goes over free to come on tonight for that, actually. But how are you doing, Mr. Bungle? Hope you're keeping well, my friend. But yeah, Cancelo. We're touching this news about Cancelo. It's sort of been rumoured before, and then sort of after I ended my stream last night, it's been sort of amped up a bit more. That Arsenal Arteta really wants him. He's worked with him before, obviously with Man City. Really does want to bring him in. Suits the system. Very versatile, as we all know from his Man City time. It's just a matter of because obviously Bayern Munich can't afford to bring him in for whatever reason. I don't know why, but anyway. He's basically going back to Man City. Man City don't want him. So it looks like we're going to be going in for a third player for Man City in terms of actually getting the money for him. After them saying for most of this season, no, we've learned that, so we're not selling to Arsenal again. It looks like they might not have a choice. If we were to get him in because of his versatility, again, that'd be a fantastic bit of business because of the versatility of positions he can play. That's fantastic, and what he can bring to the team. Well, hey, let's kick on. Champions League experience as well, so doesn't need that culture shock. Oh, this Champions League, I've never used this before. He knows the Champions League. He's having a barbecue. Of course he is. That's going to haunt him till he's fucking deathbed, basically, the poor guy. The Arsenal Misfits says, before January, I would have agreed, but trusting Edu about Modric, Chase kicked the stuffing out of that trust, throwing that kind of money and proving a player was nuts. That was more so because obviously Arteta really wanted to play, apparently, and obviously it seemed that he wanted to come to us. No other club, no matter what. Yeah, that proved. And again, in one sense, it's been a blessing because we didn't spend that much money on him. It didn't, obviously, we've seen it hasn't worked so far at Chelsea so far. And we went and got ourselves for £26 million or whatever it was, Leonardo Trossard, who's been proven, knows the league inside out, hungry, desirable, wants to win stuff, even at his age. And yeah. Trying to think now, right. If Edu went for Modric, knowing it would entice Chelsea to waste money, then that's some serious footage. That's next level. And that's the thing with Casado. Is like, again, Chelsea not doing anything mistakes. It's literally they've done this since Topo's come in. It seems to be a trait of, Arsenal on after a play, they're a London rival. We need to go after them as well and outspend them. Or get in a bidding war and fuck us both over, like I said about Rafinha earlier. And, yeah, it is what it is, but leave them to it. I mean, as I say, I'm not worried about Chelsea next season. As it stands, I'm not worried about them. Obviously, pre-season, I'll keep an eye on them, see what Poch is doing there. See what their transfer business is like, or their outgoing, because there has to be a lot of outgoings. For things to improve at Chelsea, there's got to be a lot of outgoings. Thomas got a point there. You can bid any amount if you know the rival will outbid you regardless. Yeah, you've got a point there. But you know what? With that, we're going to leave it there because what we've got is now just gone. Just gone. Sorry, 22-3. So we've got another stream coming up tonight, 7:45 UK time. The Champions League final, Man City, the cheating bastards versus Inter Milan. I myself am going to be a shameless Inter Milan fan and back into the hill, no matter what tonight, and hope that football and the good of football comes out on top tonight. Hopefully, you guys be able to join me for that. If you enjoyed this stream and what we've done today in this sort of style we've done today for this show and obviously the other stuff we do on this channel, please do subscribe. Please do share the content around and the platform, a link to the platform around as well. Help this channel grow even faster. Regain some of the people that we've lost because of YouTube recently. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Oh, and that's a bit of a shameless plug here from Tom. The road trip over on Gary's channel, by the way, DWTT. They will be live in 83 minutes exactly. There's no football, but it is what it is. So go and check that out. It's always a laugh. Got obviously Tom there, Gary, and Sam Greenwood, obviously. Arsenal Forever says Champions League final penalty shootout. As long as Inter Milan win, football wins at the end of the day. The good of football, anyway. Before I forget, Ryan, I just wanted to thank you for another season of great. That's no problem. Again, the content's going to keep going, my friend, in terms of the summer and all that. So, yeah, no worries on that. We'll see you on the other side of as we've obviously got to know, as I say, tonight's Champions League watch along. The eagerly anticipate that you guys have been demanding, have been asking for the back end of the season. The Who Am I quiz for Mike's Who Am I, because what we've been doing for the last on and off for the last 3 years since the lockdown and pandemic, etc., is making its summer return starting from tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Already got some great guests lined up for that, so do tune in for that. A few new faces as well, so give them a bit of encouragement and welcome to the channel and all that. But as I say, 7 o'clock for that one. Who Am I quiz, the first of the summer. And yeah, and then for the rest of the week, and then from next week onwards, it'll be sort of a day by day thing. As I say, there will be at some point next week an uploaded video, a recorded video of myself basically reviewing and basically helping you guys out. Anyone that hasn't bought a new Arsenal shirt yet, or whatever, or in general, or a football shirt in general, for whatever football club you support, because it all pretty much they all demand the same price really. I will be doing an uploaded video where I review and compare the in terms of Arsenal perspective, the Arsenal authentic home shirt compared to the cheaper version of the home shirt. What's the best value for money? Are they taking the piss on this, that, and the other? Taking the piss on this, that, and the other? And etc. etc. And basically, again, especially for cost of living crisis and all that, still here, definitely in the UK as well. Just again, helping you guys out. If you ever did want to buy yourself a football shirt, what one you're getting more value for money with, and how to do it in a more cheaper installment sort of way. That makes sense. It all makes sense in the video, but do keep an eye out for that later on in the week, next week as well. Oh dear. Mudryk would have been a success at Arsenal. Possibly. Can I have your other shirt? Actually, I've had a thought about things, by the way, but I'll be announcing that later. But keep an eye out for that. Keep yourselves in the chat for that later on tonight. But until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. As I say, do subscribe if you are new. Do smash that like button, and do share the content around to all your friends and family, or football lovers or Arsenal lovers, mainly Arsenal, because this is an Arsenal channel. But if you've got football fans that will be interested in this sort of stuff as well, as a non-Arsenal fan, feel free to share it with them as well, because we have, as I say, got numerous non-Arsenal fans and regulars in this chat as well. And we all have a laugh. Anyway, the main thing that brings us together is the sport itself, football, and we all have a laugh along the way. Until then, guys, as always, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Arsenal.